Fairina, welcome to Spark TV. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here. I think it's the
Look,
second podcast I've ever been on.
oh, I'm so excited. They're
So
so much fun. They're always like super nerve-wracking at the start, but once you get into your flow, they're always fun. I love them. If I could just podcast all day, for a job, that's what I would do.
that is not what I would do, but it is nice. It is lovely being here.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So let's start out just by telling everyone who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Fairina. So I am a jeweler and I create jewelry for rule breakers and story makers is what I like to say.
I love
So
that.
usually these are people who they don't feel represented or heard by the traditional wedding industry, which is
Mhm.
there's a definite kind of way to be a couple and way to have a wedding and way to even have a relationship that is quite prominent in the traditional wedding industry and depicted in
Mm.
magazines. Um, and a lot of people don't align with that. So those are the kind of people I work with, and they are the most awesome kind of people, in my opinion. I always have a great time with my customers. They're all so lovely.
Oh, I love that so much. It's hilarious because I'm watching maths at the moment. So so when you talk about like the traditional stereotypes and how it's supposed to be and all those things, yeah, it's just I was literally just sitting there thinking that's so true. You know, there's like almost like a rule book from relationship through to wedding and everything in between. So exciting that you cater to people who are like, absolutely not. That's not for me.
Yeah, so I like to work with people who do things a little bit differently. Usually they want engagement rings that are a little bit different as well. So they
Mm,
don't identify with what they see in movies and what they see on TV and in magazines and want a ring that's quite distinct, might have a bit of color, kind of reflects their personality, and also just has a bit of a story to it as well. So I like to incorporate like references to their relationship, tell their story in a unique way that's kind of just infused into the whole design of the ring.
that's so cool. So how did you get into jewelry making?
I didn't think I'd be a jeweler. I was working in marketing. I was working long hours and I decided to look into some short courses just to get myself out of the office on time 1 day a week. I started to look into, you know, clothes making and
Mm.
things like that. And it kind of was really interesting, but it was only when I found jewelry that I thought, oh, that's actually, I'm really curious to see how a piece of jewelry is made. I just can't get my head around how they make a piece of metal, which is so hard, into
Yeah.
these beautiful designs. Um, so I took a short jewelry course at the local community center, and maybe within a day, I thought, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. It just jewelry
Wow.
designer had a really cool ring to it, I think. And sorry, that was not supposed to be a pun.
I love
Um,
it though. I'm here for it.
and so I decided to look into courses, and I was actually surprised there are qualifications where you can learn
Mm.
jewelry making. I just had no idea that this was something that people could do. And so I ended up applying to TAFE to do a design course in jewelry. And then that was a 2-year course, which I then followed up with a 3-year jewelry manufacturing course.
Wow.
So the design course was where you learned conceptual design and infusing messages into your jewelry, and there were no real rules about what a piece should look
Mm.
like. It should be an art piece, it should convey a
Mm.
concept, etc. And then the jewelry manufacturing course was very much traditional jewelry. You were given a piece on paper and you were told to make that exact piece, and of course I would always go, oh, I do it like that, but I'm going to put my spin on it. And the teachers would just kind of, they'd roll their eyes at me, but they'd kind of just let me do my thing. And so it was really good to get those two different perspectives of, that really traditional kind of hand making element where it was very kind of prescriptive. A
Yeah.
ring has a diamond in the middle or a stone in the middle, or you can have maybe one with 2 stones on the side. if you're feeling particularly creative. And then there was the design course, which really went when, you know, the jewelry has to maybe have a relationship with the body somehow.
Wow.
But other than that, just go crazy. So I kind of taken both of those perspectives and, you know, started to design jewelry that is, you know, traditional in the sense that you wear it on a finger, or you wear it around your neck or on your ears, but has, you know, something different to it. Makes sense.
I love it. I love it so much. And I guess having that marketing background as well would be super helpful. So obviously, you know, going from job to then studying and now business owner, jewelry designer, there's lots of things to learn along the way. Having that marketing background, if you found that that's helped you spread the word about your brand?
Yeah, it's definitely helped. It was, I was working in student accommodation, so it's a very different industry,
Oh, yep.
but you know, marketing was something that I was quite interested in. I definitely got a good start there, but there was a lot of learning along the way. So I spend a lot of time reading or listening to podcasts and picking up tips on all the different things you have to do as a business owner to market your own business. So definitely even beyond marketing, there's a lot of learning to do around how to run a business, how to not drive yourself into the ground while
Yeah.
running a business, which I'm still kind of learning.
Yeah. I don't know when that lesson's going to be done for me.
Yeah. Still learning. It's a lifelong
Yeah,
lesson, right? That's what they
totally.
say.
Oh.
But yes, marketing background, definitely very useful. I do enjoy a lot of the marketing. It was marketing and communication. So I enjoy doing a lot of the writing and doing the blog posts and telling stories about my customers as well, because that's such a key part of what I do.
And I love it as well because that is the brand, right? The brand is, you know, telling stories and helping people infuse their story into the jewelry piece. I think it's awesome. What did you find big challenges along the way of starting the business?
Challenges. I
There's
mean,
all
there've
of them.
been a lot of challenges. I kind of started out very much. I did 2 days a week at the office, and
Hmm.
for quite a long time while running the business, I had a very hard time kind of breaking free of that because I didn't believe that I could do it.
Mm.
Um, and looking back now, I wish I'd kind of just made the decision, you know, many years earlier. And
What finally got you there? What was the thing where you went, stuff it, I'm doing it?
there were a few things. I think I kind of just got to a point where I was ready. I didn't know I was ready. And
Mm.
there were a few things that happened in my life that kind of prompted me within the period of about 3 weeks to go,
Wow.
this is it. This is what I'm going to do. So one of them was that I was at a focus group with other business owners, and we were talking about what it is that we did. And I said to the group that I am a jewelry designer. I do it part-time at the moment. I would love to go full-time. And one lady said to me, "Oh, are you sure? Are you sure you can do it?" And
Okay, love her already. Bless her.
and
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, well, I mean, I haven't gone full time yet. I'm just, you know, just a little business at the moment." And she was like, "Yeah, I just think maybe you should just keep your current job and not take the leap." And I was like, "Oh,
What?
that's a weird thing to say." Because until then, everyone had been like, "You should do it. You should do it. Go for it." And I just went, "No, no, I'm a bit scared."
Mm.
Someone suddenly told me I couldn't do it, and I went,
I will show you, lady.
"Do it. I can do it." And then, you know, I had a
Yeah.
few chats with friends. They you know, just said inspiring things to me at the time. And then I also read Tim Ferriss's 4 Hour Work Week, and there were a few really
Oh
key,
my God. That's the book that
yeah.
got me into it
Oh
too.
yeah, I know. All these businesses that have happened as a result. So
Oh my
I think one
God.
of the quotes was, "The traffic lights of life will never all be green at the same time. So if you're looking for a moment to quit your job, like this is when you should do it." And I went,
Wow.
"Oh, that is true." Maybe that's
I really want to reread it actually,
yeah.
because I just remember at the time I was like, oh my God, like my mind was blown. I was like, are you telling me you can just make up a business? You can just invent something that doesn't exist and just do it for a job. I was like, what is this sorcery?
And you can, but I'm not working a 4-hour work week, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what chapter that was,
Yeah.
but we definitely
The
missed the
whole book,
memo.
but I think I glossed over that message.
Yeah. Same, same.
But we love it.
Amazing.
So
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
yeah,
I love that. Okay, so multiple things happen where you finally took the leap.
yeah.
And how did you feel it? Because you'd already been, I guess, doing it essentially, but just kind of having that tether to the full-time job. When you finally did take the leap, like what was that like?
All this time opened up.
Yeah.
It was great. And it was, yeah, well, I never look back. Sometimes I still have like nightmares about being back at at a corporate job. Like the job was great. It was
Yeah.
fine. But I could never go back.
Mm, yeah.
Unemployable, you know?
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
so, it would be like dingy offices and things falling off the ceiling. And I was like, no, where
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
yeah, so definitely not looking back.
Good.
It was great to have all of this time to do all the things that I wanted to do.
Mm,
One of the things that I realized kind of looking back is that I wasn't using that time in a way that was most efficient. So I had a lot of time, but I would spend it, putting price tags on on jewelry, preparing for market stalls, but doing test runs. And,
yeah.
there were just things that looking back now, I wouldn't be doing. Um,
It is like, I feel like that's a rite of passage though, a little bit, isn't it? You kind of, I think sometimes you think these are the things that you have to do to be in business, to be a business owner. And it's not until you get a little bit more mature in business that you're like, wow, that was a royal waste of time. And
days, how did that happen?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I think too, you almost want to fill the time as well. You kind of like, I really struggled to move past the 9 to 5. I was like, if that is the hours, then I should be at my laptop and I should be accomplishing something. It took me a long time to get out of that kind of corporate mentality.
Yeah, I was doing like 9 to 9
Yeah.
or longer.
Yeah.
So I was like looking back, I could have made much better use of that time. Um, but it's interesting because in a year, I'll probably look back on this time and go, what was I doing? I could have just made so much better use of my time. And I hope that's what I am thinking in a year's time.
Mm,
So I think you just learn so much along the way, and sometimes you have to go through it to learn the actual lesson. When someone tells you, um, it doesn't quite seep in as much as it does if you've gone through it.
it's so true. It's so hard to, yeah, just take the advice and not just think, oh, I'm different. I can power through. I can do this. I can do that. And then it's not until you're like, oh no, they were right.
Right, I am tired and I do need more than 5 hours of sleep a night. That's what
How
I'm
do you,
learning right now.
that's what you're learning right
I'm
now.
still
Totally.
still
I'm
still
still
very
learning that lesson.
still a lot to learn.
Yeah. Well, and that's an interesting thought though. So as a business owner, how do you look after yourself?
I because I love my business so much, it is difficult for me to differentiate between when I'm having a great time in my business and when I should be having a great time relaxing.
Mm, mm,
But when I do kind of step away, I like to hang out with friends, and maybe we might organize a day where we go out and do like a little spa thing, or just have a nice lunch, or just sit in the middle of someone's living room and chat
yes.
all day. That's amazing too. So that's what I enjoy doing when I have some spare time.
I love that. I know. And it's funny. I think sometimes it's just the getting away. So it's not specifically, go for a run every day. I do this, I do that. It's just like, it's just time away from the business sometimes is healthy.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. And I want to, sometimes it's just getting some sleep in, having a nap, which I allowed myself to do yesterday. So it's great.
I love that. You have to. It's so good. Amazing. And so what's coming up for you? What are you looking forward to in 2024?
In 2024, I am working on a brand refresh and a new website. So I'm
Hmm.
really excited about that. Um, I think so. I did my brand myself about 12 years ago, did my
Yes.
own logo. Everything has been very DIY, and it's
Yep.
kind of served me this whole time. It's been fine,
Mm.
but
Mm.
it could definitely be better. So what I want to do this year is kind of elevate, just like have a little upgrade, just
That's so good.
bring
It's so,
everything.
I
Yeah.
think it's so important though. Like, I think sometimes people hold themselves back because they're like, I've got to spend $10,000 on a brand and a website and this and this and this before I can actually launch or get started. So I love the DIY. I'm a DIYer too. I think it's just like, yeah, get it out there and kind of be in business and learn all of the lessons and, experience all of the challenges first. And then because I think as well, like, you don't know where the brand will lead. So, if you kind of get it done in the beginning, you'll end up in 10 years redoing it anyway. So why not just get something out there?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of struggled with that at the beginning when I was trying to think of a business name.
Mm.
Um, couldn't think of anything. 12 years later, I still haven't thought of anything. It's just going to be Fairina Cheng forever, I think.
I love it though. Well, you are the designer, you are the brand. It's so good.
That's right. The name's never going to change. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
that's
way.
you can rely on it.
That's right.
No, it's awesome. And it's like, I guess you never know where things will lead, but I'm sure there are jewelry designers who even have other designers come in, but it's under them as the brand and what have you. So I love it. Keep it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, sometimes I think it's such a hard name to spell, and jewelry is also a hard word for people to spell. And so you put them all together, it's just opportunities for typos everywhere. But at the same time, I think it's, my name is me.
Yeah, no,
And,
it's
the moment
gorgeous.
I am the brand, I guess. So
Absolutely. Do you find that in like challenging, like being kind of the face of the brand, or do you like it?
I find it challenging in the sense that I like being behind the scenes and I don't necessarily like getting my face out there. Um,
Mm,
so it's very difficult for me to kind of get the motivation up to film a reel or do some
yeah.
kind of anything to camera.
Mm,
um, that part's difficult, but what's easy is that the brand is very much it's a bit like me, but a cooler version of me, I think.
yeah.
So it's because it feels so natural to me, and all the philosophies are very much what I believe.
Mm,
It's very real, and so it's easy to kind of embody it. So
yeah.
it's two different, two
No,
different
it is that is
embodiments.
interesting. I heard once this I was talking about this, I can't even remember who it was, but they'd been like an actress in a previous life. And they're like, so what I do now is because I, hate being the brand and hate showing off on Reels. She's like, I pretend like I'm, playing a role. I'm playing a character of the CEO or the whatever. And that helps me just be this better version of myself. Like, that's genius.
Love that. I
Mm.
have not ever been an actor, and I wish that would be amazing, because then you'd be able to step up and it wouldn't take me 5 hours to film a video. It would
Yeah.
oh, it would be a lot easier. Like if that side of it was a lot easier, um I feel like social media would be a lot,
Mm.
I would be a lot more visible on social media,
Yeah.
which is important these days, I think. I'm
I
definitely not
know.
going to be dancing on TikTok or anything like that, but I think I can muster, looking at the camera and making a bit of jewelry from time
Totally.
to time.
Has social media been important for business growth for you? What have you found as like been the way that you've gotten the brand out there? And is it been social or has it been like other channels?
Yeah, it's definitely been social. So it's been Instagram and Facebook predominantly, and
Mm.
it was kind of like a slow burn. So I've been on both of them for quite a long time. And it's kind of people who have been following for a long time that kind of get in touch when the time's right for them. So in that sense, it's most people come through social media, some people come through Google. But those would be my 3 main channels. And then other ones would come from word of mouth and referrals.
Yeah.
So I guess four main channels.
Yeah, awesome. And that is actually really interesting, isn't it? It's not an impulse purchase. I mean, maybe it is because you do some one-off, like there are things that you could just actually go and buy. Are they all custom pieces?
At the moment, I do maybe 99.5% custom. So the pieces in the shop at the moment, I haven't put a lot of focus into the shop, but that's going to change this year when I get the new website up. So this is like a little bit of a shift in, not a shift in focus, but a new focus that's being added on to my current, which is custom, predominantly custom, and I really love it. I get to work one-on-one with people, hear their stories, and that's kind of what I love. But I'd also love a channel where I can just design and put things out there that isn't necessarily influenced by what other people, well, in a way it has to be influenced by what other people want, but designs that are me. I would love that. So two different channels.
That's super cool. And I guess then that will change potentially. Obviously you said it's someone who's been following you. It's then the right time in their life. They get something custom made. I guess now it's like people who perhaps want something from you, but they don't have that special moment yet. Then that gives them a way to actually, buy a piece of the brand or own a piece of art,
Yeah, exactly. So different pieces, different types of purchases for different people, I think.
I love that. So good. Amazing. Well, I always love to wrap up our podcast with one piece of advice that you would give another woman in business. So reflecting on your time in business, what would be something that's either served you well or a piece of advice that you, would offer up to another woman in business on her journey?
I think always keep learning. So you're never ever done. So there's things that I kind of look back on, as we were talking about before, and I feel, I think, what was I doing? But that was a process of me learning that it could be done better. A lot of the things that I've implemented and done in my business have been ideas that are a result of listening to podcasts, reading articles, and basically just absorbing knowledge. So this is information, from people in my industry, and this is information from people, who run businesses, who specialize in marketing, etc. And don't feel like this information that you learn has to come from, has to just come from things like podcasts, because they can come from coaches. You can pay people to give you the information at the right time and kind of push you forward in a way that you wouldn't have been able to if you had been relying on yourself.
I love that. And it's so true, isn't it? It's something, or there's always something new to learn. There's always a new strategy. There's always is something that, you just haven't learned yet, even though you've been in business forever. I love that. That's amazing. Fairina, you are absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your time and wisdom on Spark TV. I know a lot of people listening in would have gotten a lot of value out of that. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.